Hey gang, back at it again. This time it's These Are Extremely Difficult Times for Our Country by Bernie Sanders. The last one I did didn't get a whole lot of views, so I'm not going to bother setting up for this one. But I will say that the liberals proved me right because you made it very clear you don't care about black voices because that video barely took off. So I'm just going to do this one anyway because I fucking can.
Thanks very much for joining me. We are living in a very crazy world. And if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, you are not alone. Given that reality, let's take a few minutes to try to figure out where we can go from here, what our strengths are, and what the obstacles are that are in our way.
Our strengths are socialism, and the obstacles in our way is capitalism and old white men. Got it.
For a start, let's acknowledge that our political system is corrupt and broken, dominated by big money interests.
We already know that.
While some of us are trying to get things done and occasionally have limited success, the truth is that Congress is largely dysfunctional. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
We just had the warmest winter ever recorded. Climate change is already ravaging the planet, and scientists tell us that much worse is coming if we don't act boldly. And on this existential threat to the planet, there is virtually no discussion on the floors of the House or the Senate, let alone major actions.
All right. Let me explain something to y'all. For everybody freaking out about climate change, you're not gonna fucking do anything. Like, let's be real. You're gonna talk about it. You're gonna be upset about it. You're gonna freak out about it. You're gonna have an existential crisis about it, and then you're gonna get up, go to work, and pay your bills, and you're not gonna do anything about it. Like, let's just be real.
Today, the United States, virtually alone in the world, continues to supply weapons to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's right wing extremist government in Israel, which is waging a campaign of total war and destruction against the Palestinian people.
And it's really a shame that so few politicians are addressing it like that. I'll give Bernie that one. Because, like, even the people that people really wanted to believe in, like AOC and Ilhan and a few other people, or maybe they are, but like, they still voted on some shit that nobody liked. So it's like, yeah, all right. But it's like this should be the bare minimum. This shouldn't be anybody's accolade or pat on the back. But like, when has the United States, one of the main genociders in the world, ever like called somebody else out on their genocide, right? Like, we have a long history as an arms dealing country that profits off of war to either be the genociders or help other people genocide on other people. Like, that's just what we do. That's our business model. Instead of selling science and like healing or culture or whatever word you want to use, we sell weapons and drugs. It's like, it's a problem when black and Hispanic people do it, but it's not a problem when old white politicians do it.
Hundreds of thousands of children face starvation in Gaza, yet, despite the efforts of some of us, almost no discussion. We currently have more income and wealth inequality than at any time in the history of our country. The American people believe, as I do, that we should demand that the wealthiest people in this country start paying their fair share of taxes.
Yeah.
Have you heard any discussion? Well, I haven't. Today, 85 million Americans have no health insurance or are underinsured.
Right.
We are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right.
Well, let's talk about that because I watched a video and also looked up an article about the main reason, the main original reason why the United States doesn't have health care is because of racism. They don't want to give everyone health care because they want black people to go extinct. And you can look this up for yourself. And black people still haven't gone extinct. So they're still not going to give everyone health care because they want all the black people to die. Meanwhile, a lot of white people are dying because they also don't have health care. So, good job. Um, and to go back to a previous point, because I didn't know, I'm unlike the first one. I'm watching all of this like right now, so I didn't know he was just gonna keep the train going like that. But and then again, he is known for this kind of pattern of speech, so I'm not surprised. But the wealth gap is bigger, the wage gap is bigger here. Um, we're calling gig work and side hustles, or what people have for their fucking main income, their only job, is being referred to gig work and side hustles. It's like there's such an undermining and value of labor just in general in the United States. And we have to come around to that now because the United States wasn't always like that, right? Like people used to have pensions and shit. And now like everyone's just scraping by on barely a few hours. None of these jobs have pensions. None of them want to do maternal and paternal leave, or at least not paid. They don't even want to pay for sick days now. Like, but they want us to work for sure. Like, part of the reason why I'm unemployed is because I would lose more from being employed because like I'm on state health insurance and I have food stamps. I would lose my insurance and food stamps for income that wouldn't pay the same. Like I would get a job and then wouldn't be able to afford healthcare. And if I don't have my health, I don't have nothing. People don't realize if you don't have your health, you ain't got shit. You don't even have potential if you don't have your health. I would rather have my health. And I know that's weird for some people. And I would rather eat because having a job doesn't guarantee food. If having a job guaranteed that I would have food, there wouldn't be people having to work 2-3 jobs and one of these side hustles like DoorDash and shit. Like, why get a job when that's not gonna pay for anything? Like, be homeless and be on public assistance and struggle in this kind of way, or get a job that barely pays rent, barely pays for food, will not be able to afford health care, but they're going to take my health care away anyway because I have a job with income, and be worse off because now I don't have a guarantee that I'm going to be able to maintain my health care. Like, people talk about choosing to be homeless and choosing to be on public assistance when our other options suck.
While at the same time we end up spending far more per capita on healthcare than do the people of any other country. Yet, no discussion on this enormously important issue. Half of American renters are spending more than 30% of their income on housing, and 650,000 are homeless, and gentrification is sweeping the country. Have you heard much discussion about the housing crisis in Congress? Well, I'm there. I haven't. More than 43 million Americans struggle with an average of more than $37,000 in student loan debt, and our current child care and pre-kindergarten systems are an international embarrassment that is failing our children, our parents, and our child care workers.
Mm-hmm.
No real discussion on the floor of the House or the Senate on that issue. And
I'm not a
Congress
parent, so I'm not going to
to
comment on that one.
to address our fundamentally flawed immigration system,
For real.
or provide a pathway to citizenship
For real.
for undocumented brothers and sisters.
But only the black and brown ones. Y'all saw what they did with Ukraine.
And oh, by the way, and not unrelated, in the midst of all of that inactivity and dysfunctionality in Congress, Donald Trump is leading in most of the polls.
Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the Democrats didn't do shit. Can you imagine that if one doesn't do fucking shit and then they vote in the other one and they don't do fucking shit, they might just try to go back to the other one and be like, well, maybe this will be okay this time. Like, these are the options that we have because people keep saying that a third party won't win. Like, the United States has fucking doomed itself due to the majority of citizens being so complicit with the lesser of two evils, knowing that one won't do fucking fuck all and the other is just going to destroy. One will let the destruction happen and the other one will destroy. That's the Democrats and the Republicans. Like, it's fucking asinine. And like, the people who see how dumb this system is and how defeated the American people are the crazy ones. We're the crazy ones for being like, the system's fucked up. I'm just gonna take what I can get and leave what I can and either get the fuck out of here or live the best life that I can because I can't go anywhere else. Because I'm either too poor, I have a diagnosis where another country won't take me in, which is a fucking thing, look that up. Or, like, I would just rather ride this till the wheels fall off by choice. Some people choose to live in Florida. Like, Charlie Penguins, Moist Critical, he has enough money to get the fuck out of Florida. He chooses to live there. He is a diehard Florida man. And there are some people that are the same way about anywhere else in the United States of America. Ride this dumb shit until the wheels fall off, because in some way, it does benefit you.
The American people are hurting. They want action. They want it now.
They do.
And they're not getting it.
Mm.
And that is the bad news. And no way to sugarcoat it. It is bad news.
Hmm.
So what's the good news?
What is it?
And where should we go from here? Well, there is some very good news.
Hmm.
And that is that working people all across this country are standing up and fighting for economic justice and against corporate greed.
Okay.
A few months ago, United Auto Workers won a historic contract that included a projected 33% increase in wages over the next 4 years and an end to the disastrous two-tiered wage system.
Oh, good.
The UAW fought back and they won. And right now, the UAW is investing heavily in organizing non-union auto and battery workers across the South.
Yeah.
Just last month, they announced that more than half of workers at a Volkswagen plant in Tennessee have signed union cards signaling they want to be represented by the union.
Oh, that's actually very epic. For those of you who don't know, in some states it's illegal to be in a union, and it's also illegal to go on strike. I think one of those states is Georgia, and I think another state is Wisconsin, or it's like illegal for certain jobs to go on strike or something, like teachers or something. But yeah.
This is an historic effort. No non-union auto plant in the South has ever been organized. But it's not just the UAW. After UPS made $13 billion in profits in 2022, the Teamsters Union, which represents their workers, stood up and fought back. As a result of their efforts, UPS workers won a new contract that will increase wages for part-time workers by an average of 48%, while substantially improving the wages and working conditions of full-time workers.
That's awesome.
Nurses across our country have gone on strike in record numbers to improve the lives of their patients and get better nurse-to-patient ratios, including recent victories in Virginia and New Jersey.
Hey.
Just last week, the Starbucks union finally forced the company to the negotiating table in a huge breakthrough for their organizing efforts.
Okay.
So that's the good news.
Also, a business unit, or the employees, more accurately speaking, unionizing doesn't guarantee negotiations or a contract, and it does expire. If y'all don't go to the table and start negotiating within a certain amount of time, you lose that union registration. So that's actually super important, and I'm glad the Starbucks employees finally got that going, because they were about to lose their shit.
And where does it take us into the future? Well, it seems to me that we have to go forward with a two-part strategy, short-term and long-term.
Okay.
In the short term, we have to work hard in this campaign and re-elect President Biden.
No.
Yes, Many of us have disagreements with Biden on a number of issues, including Gaza. But on his worst day in office, President Biden is 1,000 times better than Donald Trump.
Fuck no. Vote third party. Vote for your values. Don't, like, that's fucking rhetoric right there. And Bernie's a good ass politician. If I were more brainwashed by the American imperialist whatever the fuck you want to call it, I'd be down with this. But no. He's definitely going away from that lesser of two evils language while still using it. But we're tired of like what Bernie isn't getting is that we're tired of evil. America, the United States of America, we the people should not be evil. We should not be represented by evil. This is why we as citizens have to take action against hate groups. This is why we suppress Nazi, KKK, right wing, whatever you want to call it, whatever group it is that day rhetoric. This is why we hold people accountable. What they like to call cancel culture has now, what started off as a joke on Black Twitter, has now evolved into the right wing word that basically just means accountability. We are tired of, like Bernie Sanders, we are tired of evil. We are tired of genocide. Like, we are tired of being an arms dealer, which was what, us since World War One. Like, none of us were alive during that time, and we're still doing that shit. Like, the real truth is the United States of America profits off of human suffering on a local, national, and international level. It is profitable to someone that there are over 600,000 homeless people. It is profitable to someone that people are getting sick. It is profitable to someone that the workers are underpaid and overworked. It is profitable to someone that these gig economy things like DoorDash and all these other apps, what have you, are trying to get themselves exempt from state and local legislation to have the bare minimum of workers' rights. Here in Minnesota, Minneapolis made a thing that requires Uber and Lyft to have a minimum wage. And Uber and Lyft threatened to leave. And right after Uber and Lyft threatened to leave, City Council said, well, we'll give money to anybody who wants to do a startup for a rideshare service here. And the drivers said that they're going to join the Co-op app. And we have plus 20 cab services. Like it, but not every place is this place in Minnesota. For some people, Uber and Lyft leaving would be like not devastating, but not good. They would have to figure it out a lot harder than we have to figure it out. But like the second you try to hold corporations accountable and make them take care of their employees, like the shit that happened with DoorDash and shit in California, 22, Prop 22 or whatever the fuck it's called, where they got themselves, where people voted to exempt them from like the workers' rights shit in California, and they're attempting to do something of the same in Massachusetts. Like, if they can get away with making you work but not taking any responsibility for you, not having to pay you a fair wage, not having to cover your health care if you get injured on the job and all that shit, they absolutely will. People working for pennies and getting hurt on the job and having to work while they're injured is something that someone is profiting off of. That's why this is happening. The United States of America profits off of human suffering. The United States of America is evil. And our leadership is evil. And we are exiting our evil era. Some people are going to go vote for RFK. Some people are going to go vote for Jasmine Sherman. I'm voting for Jasmine Sherman because I am not a Republican by two party or third party. Like, as it looks right now, RFK and Jasmine Sherman are going to be the only two left by the time we get to November, because they're both the only two that are actually really seem to be actually really serious about running for president. So, like, pick a team and get this illusion out of your head that a third party can't win. And then if a third party does win, they won't be able to get anything done. This is what we have executive orders for. Either the president can't do anything or the president can do everything. You can't have both.
If you believe in democracy, if you believe in science, if you believe in justice and workers' rights, if you believe that women have the right to control their own bodies, if you believe in a country free of bigotry, Trump must be defeated and Biden must be reelected.
Okay, he took a kind of different route with that Senate structure than I thought he was going to take, which, can't see me. Can't see you, Bernie. Can't see you. Don't know what you're going to do. But Trump and Biden are evil. Trump and Biden are bad. This two-party system is bad. It is time for this experiment of democracy to be over. And we need linear leadership. And I know a lot of people, especially LGBTQ people, don't like that word. But it is time for us to go into one fucking direction. And the direction that would be better for everyone is socialism. Or at least democratic socialism, or social democracy, or whatever the fuck that other thing is called. And we're not going to get that out of Biden or Trump. Might not even get that out of RFK and Jasmine Sherman. But I tell you what, it would be less evil than what the fuck we're doing now. Because what we're doing now is fucking evil. It's evil to the citizens of the United States of America. It's evil to North America. It's evil to all the citizens in the world, and it's evil to the planet. Let's just stop being evil.
At the same time, we also have to work hard to make certain that our strong, progressive friends in the U.S. House are reelected. Many of them are coming under strong attacks from right-wing billionaires and super PACs like AIPAC. Further, we need to elect progressive lawmakers up and down the ballot at school boards, at city councils, and state houses across America.
I don't have much of a problem with that statement. It's just we need to stop leaning on the two-party system as a whole. Like, on a local level, all the way up to our national level, we need third parties, all of that.
That's what we have to do short term. Long term, we have to stay focused on our progressive agenda, an agenda that is strongly supported by the American people, an agenda which says that billionaires and super PACs must not be able to buy elections and undermine our democracy, an agenda where healthcare in the richest country on earth is a right, not a privilege, an agenda that treats climate change as the existential threat to the planet that it is, an agenda that takes on the greed of the billionaire class and demands that the rich and large corporations start paying their fair share of taxes.
And it's not just that, right? Because if we start holding them accountable here, they can go somewhere else and they can still pollute the oceans in other countries that we have been taught shouldn't have any value for their lives and their ecosystem because they're black and brown, like what's going on in Congo. Like, I think it's one of the petroleum companies that's dumping pollution into their part of the ocean, poisoning their fish. We got to do all of that. Like, and it's not just us that have to do all that. Obviously, it's the whole world that has to do that shit so we can continue to inhabit the planet as human beings and also stop destroying other species. So, I mean, like, one thing definitely bleeds into a greater thing.
An agenda that raises the federal minimum wage to a living wage and makes it easier for workers to form unions.
Yes.
An agenda that changes our national...
Also, get rid of those fucking laws in states that make it illegal to unionize or make it more difficult to unionize. And also get rid of the laws that make it illegal or more difficult to go on strike.
Priorities. So that we're not spending $900 billion a year on the military while children and senior citizens go hungry. Implementing that agenda won't be easy. It won't happen overnight. And to accomplish it, let's be clear, we're going to have to take on some of the most powerful special interests and powerful people in the entire world. But I believe today what I have always believed, and that is if we come together and not allow demagogues to divide us up by the color of our skin or where we were born or our sexual orientation, there is nothing we cannot accomplish.
I agree with that.
At the end of the day, no matter how much wealth and power the 1% has, 99% is a far larger number.
Yep.
And there is nothing that can defeat human solidarity.
I agree with that.
So let us stand together. Let us go forward. Let us win. Thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, the end of that video, yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna make this a thing, so I'll see y'all next time. This video definitely went longer because I wasn't as prepared. I try to keep these videos, like, for the sake of people's attention spans, but this is just kind of the way it went. But thank y'all for watching, and thank you so much if you've made it to the end of this almost 30-minute video. But yeah, I am at the very least thankful that I live in a country where I can even make videos like this. But there's definitely going to be some angry white people that are going to be like, be glad you live in the blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, we live here so we can criticize the government, not just you. Your white voice is not the only one that matters. Your housed voice is not the only one that matters. Your 6-figure income voice is not the only one that matters. It's supposed to be everybody. So, yeah. But the last part of that video, that was really good. But yeah, Jasmine Sherman 2024, and I'll see y'all next time.